What's your favourite animal? Seriously, drop it in the comments, because the chances are we might be the last generation that ever see it alive. In my last video, I mentioned the Anthropocene, our current man-made extinction event, and some scientists estimate we're now losing a species every single day. So today, we're looking at 5 animals that might go extinct in your lifetime. And for each one, I'm rating how likely it is to happen on a completely made up but factually accurate scale I'm calling How Screwed Are You? So get ready to see these animals, because this might be the last time you ever get to. First up, the poster boy for endangered species, the Ammu Leopard, the most endangered big cat on Earth, with only about 150 left in the wild, which is barely enough to keep them going. But weirdly, that's actually good news. In the late 90s, there were only about 30 left, so conservation has worked, with anti-poaching efforts improving and habitats being somewhat protected. Or the poachers just couldn't find them, like looking for a needle in a haystack. So, how screwed are you? Well, the population is rising in the wild, and there are also 200 plus Ammu leopards in captivity, giving us a really solid backup. But, and it's a big but,
that's what she said!
we're still bulldozing massive chunks of their native habitat. So, we can breed and release all we want, but if there's nowhere left for them to go, then it's game over. For me, the Ammu leopard is officially hanging by a thread. I'm obsessed with sharks, easily my all-time favourite group of animals, and I love finding weird and wonderful new species to geek out over, but nothing boils my blood like discovering a cool new species only to learn it's nearly extinct. And that's exactly what happened with the Scalloped Hammerhead. In just 30 years, their population dropped by over 80%, and you don't need to be a genius to know that's not exactly sustainable. And like so many sharks, the main culprit is the fin trade, a devastating industry where people catch a shark, cut off its fins, and then throw the body back in the ocean. All of that for the sake of some soup and medicine. But it gets worse. Unlike other sharks who like a solo life, these guys school together, so if you find one, you're probably catching and killing hundreds. There are some efforts being made, like protection around the Great Barrier Reef, which helps safeguard key breeding zones. But unless we tackle the fin trade at its core, it's just a plaster over a gunshot wound. So, back to the how screwed are you scale, and sadly, like most sharks, this one's officially been nice knowing you. We're at the midway point, and I'm already feeling depressed. So let's see if this one can give us a glimmer of hope. The Chinese giant salamander is the largest amphibian on Earth, and it's been around for millions of years, and for most of those millions, it's been doing just fine until we show up. This is another species that's seen an 80% drop in wild population over just 30 years, and like the Scalloped Hammerhead, it's mostly due to traditional practices. Their meat is considered a luxury in China, and various parts of them are used in traditional medicine. But, and this might surprise you, I'm not putting this one on the same part of the scale as the hammerhead. Even though their issues are nearly identical, there's one big difference, and that's farming. There are millions of these salamanders in commercial farms across China, so technically we have a massive captive population. All it takes is convincing people to stop eating a critically endangered species. Pretty simple, right? Still, with that in mind, and a tiny bit of optimism left in my heart, I'm putting the Chinese giant salamander might actually make it. Short interlude, and right back into despair. Next up, a little known porpoise with a big problem, the Vikita, arguably the most endangered animal on the planet. Now, there's a myth that there's only one of these left, but the truth is there are actually 8, not exactly a cause for celebration, is it? They're not directly in danger, they're actually being caught as bycatch in illegal fishing nets set for the totoba, a fish considered a cultural symbol in Mexico but illegally harvested for the black market and traditional medicine use in Southeast Asia. So we could actually be looking at a double extinction here. In 2023, the Mexican government did vow to crack down on illegal fishing in the region, but is that too little, too late? Yeah, it is. How screwed are you? Honestly, I'm shocked you're still here. In 2017, we officially discovered the Tapanuli orangutan, and in that same week, it was declared critically endangered. What a week. The wild population sits at around 800 individuals, and has stayed relatively stable since its discovery, but despite that, it holds the title of the most endangered great ape on Earth. Why? Well, palm oil continues to be the biggest killer of all orangutans across all 3 species. But, to put it into perspective, the other two orangutans have populations 10 times bigger. And even though this species isn't the lowest in numbers on today's list, it might be in the most danger. There are signs of inbreeding, shrinking genetic diversity, and very few pure Tapanuli orangutans in captivity, which makes any future breeding programs a logistical nightmare. Tapanuli orangutans, how screwed are you? It's been nice knowing you for the very short time that we have. And that's our list. 5 species hanging on by a thread, or in some cases, dangling completely over the edge. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this, it's that extinction isn't just something that happened to the dinosaurs, it's happening right now. And the only difference between these animals surviving or vanishing is us. Let me know which species shocked you the most, or which ones you want me to cover next. And if you're still watching, you clearly care, so please hit that subscribe button and stick around for more content.